Let's be real about little brothers.
Man, it's a good one. Happy 901 day to y'all.
Happy now, what they took.
Happy 901 day. Happy 901 day.
Happy 901 day, gentlemen.
It's a good day in town. Sun is out. Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah, the dogs are barking. The birds are
Birds
chirping. You want
chirping.
to keep going?
Yeah,
Come on, Jeezy.
it might be short.
Come on, Jeezy.
Let's go.
Oh man, he sent out his last album last week, by the way. So, Farewell Jesus, my favorite rapper. But started back here again. So let's go down the short topic list today. College football was pretty big weekend. We had the Memphis Tigers-Ole Miss game. I'm gonna do a little review of that game. Followed by Me and Trouble's UT Vols. We'll talk about that. So I'll be the college football. Then we go on to our NFL predictions for this season. And we'll finish with our famous troll or nah. So, first up, Memphis Tigers.
Go, Tigers, go.
Beat Ole Miss by the score of 15-10. So I guess we'll just, our thoughts of the game. Just go by our thoughts on the game. Who wants to go first?
I can go first. Definitely was a good game. It was a good environment. I ended up winning 2 free tickets to the game, which was pretty cool. So you can't beat free, right?
Nope.
So that was cool.
Right.
Shout out to Wayne Guru.
Shout out to the Wayne Guru for that. Maybe we get a promotion off them or something. Anywho, it was a good environment. I think I saw you tweet the attendance was like 44, like almost or 45,000 for the game.
Yeah, 44.
Which was pretty good. It actually seemed way more than that. It seemed like closer to 50, like when I was there. Definitely by the time kickoff started, whatever. But it was definitely like a real cool game. Like it was mainly like a lot of U of M fans, and I think Ole Miss had 2,000 or 3,000 people there, or whatever, maybe even 4. So the environment was great. The weather wasn't too bad. It was hot, but it wasn't like unbearable or whatever. The defense, definitely shout out to the defense in the game. If you would have told me going into the game that Memphis would have only given up 10 points to Ole Miss, I would have probably said that you were crazy and probably said you needed to be drug tested. But definitely shout out to the new defensive coordinator that Memphis got in the offseason, which is his name is definitely slipping my mind once again. I'm not sure how it keeps happening. But bringing on that new defensive coordinator, I believe it's from Marshall. He definitely had that defensive line moving, which is I think has been one of the weaknesses of the Memphis team for the past couple of years. So the defensive line looked amazing. The defensive backs looked absolutely amazing too as well. I think the thing that kind of shocked me was how inconsistent Brady White looked. That kind of shocked me because Mike Norvell and I think a lot of people from the media kind of hyped him up saying, okay, this is his second year. He's looked really good in practice. He looks really good in scrimmages, whatever. But just kind of watching the game, especially in person, he missed several throws. And you can just and I've always said, if your offensive coordinator, your head coach has you running the Wildcat, or only has the receivers running 4 and 5 yard routes on a consistent basis, then they really don't too much believe in you. And that's really what the offense consisted of. And so you got to give credit to also Patrick Taylor, who really in a sense saved kind of saved Brady White from losing the game, and also the defense too. So Brady White looked extremely inconsistent, but Patrick Taylor looked like the Patrick Taylor of last year. So he looked really, really good. And the defense looked well too. So shout out to the defense, and shout out to Patrick Taylor for the win. And I guess we can't be too much of little brothers to Ole Miss after we've beat them yet again.
Again.
So yep, I will agree. Well, I mean, you say everything spot on. Just my thoughts of the game. Great atmosphere. I think most of us there. I know me, Skyler, too. Trevor, were you there?
No, I didn't get a chance to go to the game.
Okay. Yeah, I know us 3 were there. But yeah, great environment. Hot, very, very hot outside. I still got my beat Ole Miss towel. We got free at the game. But yeah, great environment. Should have beaten worse. But I mean, win is a win.
Yeah.
But going forward, like as outlook of the season, I think coming to the season, we all looked and said, "Hey, Brady White is going to be our downfall," and I think that showed in that game. Like our defense improved by miles ahead. Granted, Ole Miss is bad too, so I don't know what the quarterback was doing. I don't know what. Woo! I don't know what they're gonna do in the SEC, but that's Memphis. Great defense, yeah. The defense, like you, I heard that they were gonna be better, but seeing it was like, oh wow, especially the D line. And you think about it, it was like the players who I was hearing the names of. It was most of the players from last year's defense. So the biggest change had to be the defense coordinator because those were the same players. And let's say offense, Brady White, Patrick Taylor, like he got bigger. He was, dog. He was really good. Kenny Gainwell, I knew he would be good, and yeah, he proved to be all the hype from last year leading up to this season. So I just we got to run a Wildcat the rest of the season, fellas.
Something.
I know.
Let's hope not, but
it's still the SEC defense. Yeah, it's SEC defense still, but it's like, man, our defense, we're gonna go against teams like Houston who score a lot of points. No matter how good your defense is, you're gonna have to put up more than 15.
Nah, man, coming into the season, Ole Miss was looked at as a team that probably wouldn't win a game this season. So for us to only put 15 points on them is kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if Brady White's done improvement. Like I don't see much improvement from him at all, if he improved any. Like he looked like the same Brady White from last season. Not sure if that's his fault or Novell's fault, but it is the first game. But the play calling, like all the screen passes. What was that?
Yeah.
Well, same thing from last year. Like you said about Brady.
Same exact game from last year.
Yeah, I said we were running more screenplays than the Golden State Warriors for real.
We ran the screen on 4th and 1. On 4th and 1, we ran the screen.
How many times did we run the ball on 3rd and 10s or 3rd and longs or whatever?
And plenty of time. I think every 3rd and long situation we ran the ball.
Okay, I thought it was just me.
So, yeah, we got a couple first downs on it.
Yeah, Novell, you're gonna have to switch that up real quick. But like I said, this is the first game. We got the nerves out. Our defense was definitely legit. Adam Fuller, that's the defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So shout out to Coach Fuller, man. Game number 2, let's get it.
Sheedy, you got anything?
Oh yeah, so I want to come from a different perspective. Memphis is y'all's team, so I had to take the time to talk about the Buckeyes. Justin Fields looked amazing. 72% of his passes completed, 4 touchdowns through the air.
Must be nice.
So I thought I was, I put a little Big Ten in there. I didn't.
We had other notable games to talk about that.
Yeah, man, I love my Buckeyes. But to the point about what Skylar mentioned earlier, 15-10, the 10 points of the defense, everyone predicted a lot more, even that Ole Miss wasn't going to do this well throughout the season. We all put up more than 10 on our predictions. So defense looked okay. But again, to Tuke's point, this Ole Miss team isn't like a Ole Miss of the past, so to speak. And I don't know when the Ole Miss of the past I want to refer to, but regardless of the stake, a win is a win. Coming from a Buckeyes fan who knows win by 1 or win by 100, it's all say W out there. So shout out to the Tigers for that win.
All right.
It's better than another Tennessee team.
We'll talk about them next. Trevor, you got anything?
Just want to commend the Tigers on their effort yesterday. I'm gonna reserve my judgment on Brady White because I really do feel that he was probably sticking to a game plan that Mike Norvell probably despised for him. Granted, it was the same stuff that was ran last year, but I think for us to really put something for Brady White, who could potentially be our downfall, because the Tigers have a chance to be like really, really good, like win the conference good. So I would like to see Mike Norvell just basically open up the playbook a little bit more for Brady White, and then now we can finally see, what Brady White is really made of. If the hype that was around him going into the season is real or not. So that's all I have to say on that. Again, commence to the Tigers on a great win. Defense looks amazing. So sky's the limit with the Tigers, man. Sky's the limit.
I got a question. Do you think he's not opening up the playbook because he don't trust Brady White?
I think that's exactly what it is.
I think it's exactly what it is. Yeah.
That's a good point.
So that means we just ain't got another quarterback on the roster.
I mean, we got rid of all our competition. Oh, I'm sorry, all of Brady White's competition left.
Well, the dude from last year was sorry because I saw him in the JUCO game he transferred to. So
okay. Well, he could have just had a bad game. I don't know.
Bro, then you have 100 yards pass in the JUCO championship game.
Oh, Jesus.
But let's go move on to these garbage ass Tennessee Volunteers. They're my team. They are my team. We've been trashed for years. We hit a new low, losing 38-30 to Georgia State.
And tell them to bring me my money.
Plus, I care. Jeremy Pruitt can be gone today. I know they ain't gonna do it. But,
oh man,
I care. But
wow, you ready to give up on it that early already?
Did we just lose to Georgia State at home?
Yeah. This is true, but golly.
See you.
Yeah.
Wish I don't see you do that.
Cartoon.
We'll see how the rest of the season play out, but yeah. That's my feelings.
Yeah.
Who next?
I got my feeling all about this. I don't even know where to start, to be honest, on this whole thing. I honestly just don't have any words really because Jeremy Pruitt is not the guy. I've said he wasn't the guy. And this really, the underlying thing that nobody's really highlighting, but a lot of us already know already, it shows just how good Nick Saban is as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
And what he's been able to do at Alabama and things of that nature with practically anyone is just amazing. I think everybody just bought into the hype that Jeremy Pruitt was coming in as he was Bama's defensive coordinator. Everyone bought into it and thinking like that same mojo was going to rub off on Tennessee, which is not the case. I don't know what the Vols are doing offensively. Last season, they were dead last in yards per carry, total yards per game, and yards from scrimmage, if I'm not mistaken. And they're looking like they're about to be on that same road again this season. Fun fact for you guys today on this 901 day. So yesterday's game was the fourth time in the SEC that a team with a 25-point margin of victory has lost. Of course, Tennessee owns 3 of those.
Wow.
And, yeah. So, of course, the one yesterday, their homecoming game back in 2008 against Wyoming. And would you guys like to take a guess at the last one? At the third one?
Memphis.
Bingo, in 96.
Hey.
Happy 901, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. So, yeah, and I think the fourth one was just for those that want to know. I think it was like Florida when they lost that first game when Tim Tebow did that infamous speech or whatever. But yeah, three of the four teams in the 3 of the 4 largest margin of victory of 25 or more where that team is lost belongs to Tennessee. That goes to show you where the Vols are heading right now. So, but kudos to Georgia State. Shout out to Dan Ellington. He's somewhat of a local product. I found out that he played his high school ball in Olive Branch, so that it ain't Memphis, but it's close by. So shout out to him. Shout out to Georgia State for not only winning the game, but coming through with $950,000 in the process. Yeah, shout out to Georgia State. They actually came out. They played a hell of a game, man. So
Yeah, they did.
that's really all I got to say on that game.
I at this Georgia State, I know they went 2-10 last year. They do look much improved. I like to see what their record is at the end of the season. They don't like the same team from last year, but they are still Tennessee. Jerry Pruitt, for him to be a defensive coordinator. Defense coordinator, supposed to be good on defense. Yeah, our defense didn't look good. I at least thought our defense didn't look good. I hate this. I hate to see that. You're supposed to be a defensive specialist, but you're a specialist that are good. That makes no sense to me. But yeah, anyone else want to go?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of mentioned what I was going to bring up. Like, I think the last people kind of just really, or Jeremy Pruitt kind of got his name as a defensive coordinator at Alabama, and when he was there, he had that defense flying around, and you kind of see, okay, he had his first year, of course, at Tennessee, and so of course he has to get the proper people that he wants on his team or whatever. But I mean, to kind of open up season 2. To give up 38 against Georgia State, I don't care how they looked the previous year. Like, come on, man! Like, you give up 38, and I'm just sitting here looking at the stats. Nothing just really like jumps out to me. Like, I mean, of course, you gave up 213 yards on the ground. I mean, the quarterback didn't do that well. He went 11 of 24 for 139, 2 touchdowns, but nothing just really just stands out to me. So I guess what I was going to ask you, I was like, exactly what was the alarming thing and what was the alarming problem in the game?
Offensive line, defensive line.
Gotcha. Okay.
They dominated us.
They lost the trenches. They lost in the trenches.
A Sun Belt team dominated SEC team in the trenches,
which is very, very rare to hear. Well, unless it's Memphis versus Ole Miss. Other than that, you don't hear that at all.
Even then, Memphis is an AAC team that's could be considered a Power 6.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, I wouldn't necessarily just jump off his bandwagon yet. I mean, I know that loss is extremely hard to take. I would just kind of wait to see how the rest of the year plays out or whatever. But at least to see if y'all can at least get to a ball game. But he definitely did make a good case for himself. Week 1 of college football.
That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I can tell you now it's gonna play out.
I can tell you that right now. I can tell you right now.
Yeah, well, I forgot y'all in the SEC West. So yeah, so he probably won't be. He won't probably be.
SEC
East.
SEC East. We're the East.
But we play Alabama every year.
So yeah,
Alabama's our rival, so we play them every year. So.
We have Florida, Georgia,
lost.
Mississippi State.
Lost.
And who else, Shakir?
Another loss.
We haven't beat Vanderbilt. I don't know how long.
Yeah.
Man,
no, it's
good.
like we literally have
still don't beat them,
4
though.
games back to back.
I've lost.
We literally have 4 games going to the middle of the season, all simultaneously, where Tennessee is it's a straight loss. So you're at Florida this year, which is a loss. I believe you're at Bama, loss. At Georgia,
lost by 30.
We play Georgia and Florida. It's always one on the road, one at home, but either way, lost.
Yeah. So there's a good chance by midway of the season, Tennessee could be 1-5 or possibly 0-6.
And we might lose to another low tier team like Georgia State. Who knows at this point?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of teams got we try to go to the other noble games too, but Missouri lost in Wyoming. They had a bad day yesterday. South Carolina lost to North Carolina, which they won a bad loss, but it's SEC just took some L's yesterday. The lower tier teams, at least, not the higher tier teams.
Yeah.
So you got anything?
Nah, not really. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty funny to see UT losing and hopping in a group me and seeing y'all wanted to trade y'all teams already. After I've been witnessing the Longhorns disappointment for the last few years, I refuse to let that happen.
Hey, y'all lost to Georgia State.
No, but we probably lost against somebody that was on that level or maybe even worse. You know what I'm saying? What y'all always say is the first game. Y'all got a long season. But the way it was looking yesterday, what I'm hearing y'all say, it's gonna be a long season for y'all, and I'm not gonna let y'all switch on nobody. Yeah, y'all done already switched on NBA teams too. I'm not. Nope.
I mean, you must have read my message when I said I wish I could
know
leave.
because I didn't care about it.
Because I didn't say I was leaving. I said I wish I could leave. I couldn't.
You're supposed to be happy for me. I came off to the grid.
Right.
Heck nah, man.
I never said I was leaving. I said I wish I could.
If I had to suffer with my Longhorns, y'all got to suffer with y'all side volunteers.
I mean,
how do y'all feel that Memphis is the best team in Tennessee?
I'm actually happy.
I mean, we both Memphis fans too, so yeah.
I mean, yeah,
I'm actually happy.
Tennessee is known for football.
Look.
And now y'all losing to
you seen Tennessee the last decade? We ain't on football no more.
Hey, that sounds like a personal problem. Y'all need to go on y'all bag and figure out what y'all need to do in y'all lives. Like, nah, y'all losing to Georgia State out here.
It needs
question y'all fan loyalty. Like,
they just need to tear it down and rebuild.
Tear it down and rebuild, man.
How many times
in the SEC? What y'all want to go to? What y'all want to come to our conference?
Gotta do something.
You want to come to the Big 12, or you want to come to go with Memphis?
We just gonna be like Vanderbilt for the rest of eternity.
Yeah, now y'all finna be looking like Ole Miss out here.
I say Vanderbilt because historically they have never like really been good. That's what I say. Vanderbilt. Ole Miss has been good.
Hey, touche, brother, touche.
Yeah, that's true.
Nah, but it's all right, y'all.
Yeah, I mean, we used to it by now. You just hit another low point. Let's move on from that. Other notable games, I guess I would start with that one. The Auburn-Oregon game was very, very good. Oregon loves to blow leads like Mike Norvell does. I see. I forgot the game against Stanford last year. They blew that huge lead. They mentioned it. Then Auburn came back and won yesterday. Oregon blew a lot of opportunities to be up by more points. Justin Herbert, I see the intangibles. I see why they love him as a prospect. But I need to see big game moments. And a freshman outdid him in the big game moment yesterday. And that freshman from Auburn, the first half, he was looking like an Ole Miss quarterback. Second half, he looked totally different. I saw the potential in him, though, like an Ole Miss quarterback. Ole Miss quarterback's just straight trash. But at least in him, I saw potential. But it's like he was just, you could tell it was freshman nerves. Big game freshman. But second half, shoot. That last drive, I was like, man. And I know he was like a fan. His dad, one of his pops played it. His pops was a quarterback at Auburn back in like 1993. And they showed a clip of his pops doing a similar game-winning touchdown, almost the same exact way he scored. He threw that game-winning touchdown yesterday. And he was when I think they showed a picture of Cam Newton in the stands after Auburn won that championship or something. He was like a little boy in that picture. He was like 10 years old. He was right there beside Cam Newton smiling. So it's funny like how they came together. But that was a really good game to watch. Oregon like the old Chick Kelly Oregon. They had a whole bunch of fast, short guys like with Michael James and them. Anthony Thomas. They had short, fast guys. But they blew opportunities in the game. And Auburn, they kept you say you leave a team a chance to come. You leave a team in the game. They find a way to win. That's exactly what happened in that game.
Yeah, because they was up 14-6 at one point, right? 14-6 going into halftime, right?
Yep, 21-6.
They were.
And it should have been more. Wide receiver had dropped a touchdown pass, and they missed the field goal right after that. And that was like a 20-yard field goal. Then another play, they down like the 6, and they fumbled. And Auburn took it all the way back down to their 2, and one of their players hocked them down and held them to the field goal. So like that was 2 moments that they could have had 2 more touchdowns.
Yeah, that game kind of. I kind of wanted. I hate that I missed it, but I really wanted to watch the game. Because I think that toward the end of the college football season last year, I mentioned how awful Justin Herbert looked, but he was supposed to be projected to be like a top 5 quarterback or whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I see I guess the second weekend of college football, which to me this was the first. Him going against Auburn like week 1, I'm like, okay, cool. Like this will allow him to kind of redeem himself. I get to see exactly like what other scouts and stuff seeing him. And for me, honestly, again, like it's not like I see nothing that like screams, okay, this is a top 5 quarterback. Like he just nothing about him just screams like, okay, this guy could be the next big thing in the National Football League. So I think that's the big thing that I was kind of looking forward to. And he did nothing to change my mind whatsoever. So that was the big thing that I kind of took away from it. And then second thing for me was North Carolina's win over South Carolina, which was really huge because North Carolina, they've struggled since they lost Mitch Trubisky a couple of years ago. I didn't realize they were only won 2 games last year. And so to open up this season, which I totally forgot that Mac Brown was their new head coach.
Yes.
And I think
Yeah, damn. You took what I was going to say with notable games. But,
Yeah.
But North Carolina, South Carolina, to the point that we just talked about with Tennessee and how hard their schedule is, South Carolina needed that victory more than North Carolina did. Because South Carolina's got a lot of losses coming their way as well. After that loss, they just gave up to North Carolina. And North Carolina scored, I think, like the last 15 points at least. It was 15-0 for the fourth quarter. But that kid, Sam Howell, I believe, he's got some balls. And he was delivering the ball over the shoulder to his receivers, man. And he looked really good. North Carolina is a team I feel like can be scary and play on any given Saturday or Thursday night type game, but I feel like they're going to lose games that they should win, which is not going to be where Mac Brown wants them to be yet. But watch out for North Carolina because what that kid did and Mac Brown as the coach, I can see them doing a little damage this year as well.
Yeah.
I'd like for Soup to go next since we mentioned Mac Brown. How do you feel about
Yeah.
Appreciate how you
Longhorn.
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't get a chance to watch any Longhorns games. I was out and about all game. But as far as like just us not ever being in the top 10, top 15 like we once in the past, it's kind of disappointing. You know, there's been times where I've been one of the trade teams like y'all and go to Auburn, you know, especially since that's what Cam Newton was. And, you know, they've won a couple of I think, 1, 2 championships. No, just one championship since Cam left.
I was talking about Mac Brown, bro.
Well, it sounds like Mac Brown, like he need to get us back to the top 10 football.
Like, no, that's what I'm saying. He's our former coach. Remember, he retired. Well, y'all fired. I forgot what happened. It was y'all fired him.
Yeah, he got fired for something, but yeah, he's the coach of North Carolina now.
So. They ain't going far.
He won y'all national championship, man.
Huh?
He won y'all national championship. And got y'all to another one. Colt McCoy got hurt.
A long time ago. Like that's when we actually remember we used to play college football games on Xbox and stuff. That's when the Longhorns was good. That was the ending of our Longhorns run. Ever since then, we finally, you know what I'm saying, let's get back to Longhorn football. Top 10, you know, top 15 consistently football, you know, top 5. And let's get to that bowl game championship, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I believe consistency is key, you know, that's our slogan, but we got Mac Brown ain't gonna do too much next.
Yeah, Trevor.
Well, everyone pretty much just hit the nail on the head when I was going to talk about with North Carolina and South Carolina how Mac Brown was able to rally those troops. And then the guy that was making those throws for NC, I forgot his name. Yeah, it was just amazing. So look, they're going to be scary moving forward. I don't know how scary, but just that's somebody who down the line you probably want to wake up for and get your team ready for it because you slip up North Carolina may just upset you and sneak off with a W. I'm also going to echo. Yeah, I'm also going to echo Skylar's point about Justin Herbert because I didn't see anything from him yesterday that made me suggest that all this hype that's been put upon him is justified. I know they highlight the fact that he decided to come back to school and try to improve his status or whatever. This game was the perfect opportunity for him to showcase it. I didn't see anything. I honestly see another Jake Cutler in the making. Probably worse than that.
Jake Cutler.
Kudos to Auburn. Kudos to Bo Nix, who played lights out in the fourth quarter when Auburn back. Especially that game-winning drive. So look out for Auburn coming forward. Look out for NC, and Jay Cutler. That's Justin Herbert's in my opinion.
So,
Jay Cutler.
Actually, I had another comparison for him. Like I said, I saw intangibles where, you know, we see plenty of busts to get drafted in the first round. So I saw intangibles in the first half. I was like, oh, that's why scouts love him. Yeah, like they throw the receiver, drop their pass. Like, I mean, the quarterbacks can make that throw that he made, threatening Needle through that. But like y'all was saying, I didn't see the big game moment consistently throughout the game. He seemed like he was shook, especially the whole second half. Like, I don't know. But I had a comparison. So it was a person who was actually like one of the analysts of the game. Mark Sanchez.
Fumble.
That's not good.
Definitely not good.
I was like, ironic, huh? So yeah, that's my comparison for him. And as for North Carolina, the ACC, I do see them being like a team to be wary of because after Clemson, ACC is really garbage. Florida State lost to Boise State yesterday after being up by 18. So they're still on their downward spiral too. So yeah, North Carolina can make some noise for ACC.
Yeah, and they stuck too. So
yeah.
They can't fire Willie Taggart because if they fire him, he has a clause in his contract where his buyout is like 85% of what's left of his contract. So yeah,
Jesus Christ,
they kind of stuck with him.
Before we move on to the NFL preview, got some notable games. By the time we released this recording, the day we're recording, Oklahoma and Houston already played, but Jalen Hurts will play against Houston tonight, so that would be a good game. Like I said, by the time we release this recording, the game will already be played. And next Saturday, LSU plays Texas. Texas is number 10 this year too. LSU is number 6.
Ooh.
That's gonna be a big game.
That's gonna be a good one there.
And it's another big game. Dang, I lost track of it. It was another big game before.
It should be Clemson and A&M.
Clemson and Texas A&M.
Clemson and A&M. Yep, there you go.
So next Saturday, that's gonna be some 2 big time games right there. But go forward to the NFL preview show. We're gonna go down. We're gonna start with the AFC.
NFL's back, gentlemen.
Hey, finally.
Starts back with the Packers and Bears Thursday. So we start off with the AFC first. Just now show it. We're not gonna do. Last year we did division by division. We just gonna go announce your 4 division winners, announce your 2 wildcard teams, and go to your AFC Championship game, and your who you got predicting to win, and get to the Super Bowl of it.
Okay.
So who wants to start it off?
I'll start it off. So we're doing the AFC?
Yep.
Basically? Okay. So AFC East, the Patriots are winning at 12-4 again. Let's see. I believe 10-6, 11-5 will win the AFC North. And not still until I see it, I'm not buying into the Cleveland Browns hype. So that will definitely be the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like I said, it'll be either 10-6 or 11-5. That's going to win that division. It's definitely going to be close. I do believe that that's going to be the record that the eventual winner will have. 10-6, 11-5. That sounds about right. The AFC South, honestly, I believe it's a toss-up. I think with all the moves that Houston has made within the past few days or so, I think it's kind of easy to consider them the favorite. But again, I gotta see it to believe it. Of course, we all know what happened with the Colts with Andrew Luck's retirement, so they're not going to be that great this year. Tennessee has a puncher's chance to win it if Mariota can just stay healthy. So I'll go with Houston wins this one by default, and I think they win it at 9-7. And then the AFC West, I have the Chiefs winning that division at, I'm going to say 11-5. 2 wild card teams, I'm going to go with the Chargers, who will be in at 10-6. And for my second one, I'm actually going to go with Tennessee to be my second wild card team. I honestly The reason being is that I couldn't think of a second team from either division. I know the Chargers were one. I already said Pittsburgh is winning the division at 10-6, 11-5. So that means that knocks Cleveland out. I don't think Baltimore is going to be really good because they're going to run Lamar Jackson into the ground. And then for who's really going to come out of the AFC East outside of the Patriots? So that's dead on that as well. So shot in the dark, Tennessee is going to be my second wild card team. I have a rematch of last year's AFC Championship. I have Kansas City and New England. And I actually have Kansas City prevailing this go round to get to the Super Bowl.
So
interesting.
I said I would go next then. We're basically similar. I got the Pats winning the East, of course. I actually had the Steelers win the North. I had the Texans. So the Texans and Titans is between them two. I'm choosing between Titans, my team. But we played Houston 2 times. So the last three weeks of the season, we played them twice. And the very last game is at Houston. And we haven't won Houston, I know how long. So I got to see that to believe it. So I'm basically saying the Texans are going to win the division on that last game at Houston between us. And the Chiefs will win the West. My division winner, my wild card teams are the Titans and the Browns. I actually had the Titans ahead of the Browns because I predict we're going to beat the Browns first game of the season, and that's the tiebreaker. Let's get the 5. They get the But I do have the Browns winning. Their playoff game, us losing our playoff game. But the Pats and the Chiefs in a rematch AFC Championship, and Chiefs going to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Well, I guess I'll take a stab at it. I have the Browns winning the North. They're definitely going to win their first game against the Titans. I don't know what Shakir talking about, but you know what I'm saying. This is a disagreement. For the East, of course, Tom Brady, the Patriots. I think they'll go 12-4. I think the Browns are going to go 11-5, by the way. Patriots 12-4. For the South, I have the Texans winning. I think that's going to be a dogfight in that whole division. That's going to be pretty good for that division because it's like, what's going to happen? Nobody really knows. And like Trevor said, 9-7. I'm 9-7 with you on that one. And for the West, I got Kansas City going 13-3. They're going to have a pretty good season. Pat Mahomes. I may make him one of my first picks for fantasy. I don't know yet. That's gonna be fun. But let's see. We're gonna go to the wild card. I also have the Chargers and Tennessee Titans. Don't think Pittsburgh is gonna be that good this season, but I would love for them to prove me wrong. Like I said, the Chargers, Tennessee. Overall, I have Kansas City and Cleveland meeting in the conference championship, and I got Cleveland going to the Super Bowl, like I've been saying for the longest.
Of course you do.
Of course I do.
Of course.
Hey man, Baker's the truth, and you put him with the most electrifying wide receiver in the game. It's about to get ugly, y'all. It's about to get ugly.
Okie
All right.
I'll go next.
Cleveland, this is for you.
Yeah, I'll go next. I want to see what Sheedy has to say, so I'll go next. Of course, I have the Patriots winning the AFC East. But I actually think it'll be close, and I'll explain why as I get towards the end of my predictions. So the Patriots, I believe they'll win the AFC East. I actually, surprisingly, have the Cleveland Browns winning the AFC North. I know.
Surprisingly.
I know. I've watched a lot of the Cleveland Browns just to get a closer look at Baker Mayfield or whatever, and he's looked good. I'll give you that.
He looks
not
good.
only that, it's just like
he's the truth, Skyler. He's the truth.
He's looked good, but I think more of the reason why I'm giving the edge to the Browns is because of their defense. I think that's more of the reason why I'm giving them the nod. I never said I've been a believer of Baker Mayfield. I was just kind of skeptical because he was kind of young. But just look. If you look at their defensive side of the ball and you look at the names. Like they have some names and they have some talent on defense. So I think that's the main reason why I'm giving them the edge in the AFC North. The AFC South, I actually do not think it'll be even remotely close. And that's because of the trade that the busy Saturday that the Houston Texans had. Not only did they acquire Larry Tunsil, who I believe is he's up and becoming one of the best tackles in the league. But to get Kenny Stills, who's a really underrated receiver, and part of that deal too, I think that's key for Deshaun Watson, and I also think that's key for DeAndre Hopkins too. So to give Deshaun Watson a really key solid number two receiver in Kenny Stills, I think that'll be good for.
They still have Will.
But he ain't never healthy.
That's even better.
That's true. But I've got a Will Fuller though.
Yeah, I'm out of that. I mean, well, I'm out of 2 or 3 between the two. Either or, that's like extra weapon, extra deep.
Yeah, exactly. So I definitely forgot about Will Fuller. So I actually have the Texans winning the AFC South. The AFC South and the AFC West. I just believe that Pat Mahomes is that damn good. So the Kansas City Chiefs will take the AFC West. My first wildcard team, I believe, is going to be the Los Angeles Chargers. I still get that wrong every time. I'm a little skeptical about that just because Derwin James is going to miss a pretty significant amount of the season. And I just think he really secured the defense for them. I understand that they still have Joey Bosa, they still have their linebacking core, but Derwin James not being there is going to be huge for them. And I'm really torn for the second AFC wild card. I'm torn between the Steelers and the New York Jets. I believe that Sam Darnold is going to really have a really good second season. I've read a lot of articles. I've heard a lot of people talk about how well he's looked in preseason, how well he's looked in training camp. So I believe Sam Darnold is going to be really good. Le'Veon Bell, who I'm a huge fan of, even though he's not even with the Steelers anymore. Him being the kind of like security blanket for Sam Darnold is going to be huge for them. And just they also are really good. They're going to be good on defense as well too. So I'm really torn between the Jets and the Steelers on the second wild card team. So that's my AFC prediction.
What's your championship game winner?
Championship game, God, I do not want to choose. I don't want it to be the Chiefs and the Patriots again because I just kind of feel like everybody's going to pick that. And typically when there's a universal pick, that typically doesn't happen. So I'll take the Chiefs, and I will take I'm a huge fan of Deshaun Watson. So give me Chiefs and give me Texans in the AFC Championship game, and I'll take the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl.
Damn, I forgot all of it. Anyway, Pats win the AFC East. That's an easy one. I think Sheedy coming back with Andy Reid is going to be something special with Kansas City Chiefs. The Texans, what they did this past night, and then I believe the Browns win the AFC North. Playoff teams, Chargers and Ravens. I hear you saying about the Jets. I looked at them too. I feel like Le'Veon Bell is huge. They also signed they'll spend a lot of money on defense too last year. I also think the Chargers make a trade for Melvin Gordon to get the help that they need. In regards to the championship game, I also believe this is it for the Patriots. So Chiefs, Texans. I don't think the Patriots make it back to the AFC Championship game. Brady should have retired.
Yes.
And Chiefs won AFC.
No.
Nice. I did. I almost had the Browns beating the Patriots. I almost had the Steelers beating the Patriots. Second round. I had the Browns playing the Chiefs. So I almost had the Steelers beat the Patriots, but I got the Chiefs getting the revenge on them instead.
I actually got the Browns beating the Patriots. I do.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
Got them Super Bowl. Okay. That's good. Next up, the NFC. Who wants to start this one off?
Took.
I mean, we already know who I'm going with.
we actually don't. Please remind us.
That's the problem.
I got us definitely winning the division. I got us going 13-3.
Wow.
Yes, I do.
You said the Cowboys are going 13-3?
Schedule. We have literally one of the easiest schedules in the whole football league, in the whole NFL.
Yeah, okay.
Our 3 losses will be
That
against the
doesn't
Rams.
for me.
We're gonna start off with an L against the Rams. We're gonna lose once against the Saints, and we're gonna lose once against the Falcons. That's it. So
Y'all lose against the Bucs.
You said we're gonna lose to the Bucs.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it. Whatever. So of course, with that being said, NFC South, I got us winning 13-3. I got Philly winning the East 12-4. Because we still don't know what Zeke is gonna do. Trev, you think he's gonna come back in week 3, which is good, but in that division, coming back 2 games later may hurt the Cowboys. So I got the Eagles winning that division 12-4. I got Chicago actually winning the North. They'll go 10-6. It's gonna be a dogfight, just like the AFC South is gonna be a dogfight. I think the NFC North is just gonna be just as a dogfight. Low record, like I said, 10-6, and then I got for the West, the Rams winning 13-3. Wild card will be the Cowboys in Minnesota, and I have us beating the Rams in the AFC Championship.
All right, y'all pick your Super Bowl winner between the Panthers and Browns. Who's your real favorite team?
So let me say, so if the Rams beat us, then Cleveland's gonna beat the Rams.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you got the Panthers beating the Browns pretty much. Huh?
Yeah, I got the Browns. Yeah. My bad. It's gonna be a fun game, and it's gonna be what the NFL is gonna need, because who wouldn't want to watch that game? So, Cleveland and Carolina Super Bowl.
I'll go next. Actually, just look at y'all schedule. It's not as easy as you think. It's easy, but it's not that easy, because you have to look at the health of Cam Newton and if they actually last for the full 16 games. If he's fully healthy for the full 16 games,
I mean, that's considering that he's healthy. Of course, 13-3. But if he's not, then
I still won't give you 13. If he plays full all 16 games, I wouldn't dare give you 13-3. I wouldn't dare do that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's another topic for another day. So I'll go with my predictions for the NFC, and I'm going to start with my number 1 seed in the NFC, and I'm going to roll with the Green Bay Packers, and they will win the NFC North. I said last week, maybe the week before, that bad man Aaron Rodgers would come back. In the game. So I'm rolling with the Green Bay Packers to be the number 1 seed in the NFC at the end of the season. So the Packers will win the NFC North. The Los Angeles Rams will, of course, win the NFC West. I'm rolling with the Philadelphia Eagles just barely over the Dallas Cowboys. That's if Zeke comes back at a pretty decent portion of the season. So I'm going to roll with the Eagles to win the NFC East. I actually have the Saints to win the NFC South. My first wild card team goes to Tuke's boys in Atlanta. So I'll roll with the Atlanta Falcons to take the first wild card, and I will take the Dallas Cowboys to win the second wild card in the NFC.
Wow.
Those are my predictions, and I'm sticking to it.
Right.
Wait, who'd you have win the NFC South? Who was that?
The NFC South will go to the Saints.
Okay.
All right, conference championship and Super Bowl winner.
In the conference championship game, I will go with the Packers and the Rams. And I'm really trying not to pick the Packers to win that game and go to the Super Bowl.
Oh, my God.
Because I'm trying not to. Bad man Aaron Rodgers. And he's actually coming back he's coming back with the bench.
Skyler.
Did
Bianca go out and have mimosas this morning?
No, we did not. We did not, actually. I'm actually pretty sober as I'm talking to you guys.
Wow.
The NFC Championship game will host the Packers and the Rams. And I'm actually going with the Rams to win the NFC. And I would love to see the Rams and the Chiefs go at it in the Super Bowl, even though I actually want Aaron Rodgers to win it.
Who shall win in the Super Bowl?
Who shall win the Super Bowl? I'll go with the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Even though I kind of don't want to.
Let me go next then, since y'all shot the Skyler's prediction. So,
all right.
I do have the Packers winning the North.
Hey, man.
And Rodgers come back with advantages. I do
Oh,
have
he's bad. Whoa.
I had the Eagles winning the East. I have the Saints winning the South. And I had a tough choice. I had the Seahawks at first, but the Rams didn't do anything to get worse, so I couldn't put them ahead of the Rams. For wild cards, I had the Bears, and I had a tough time between the Cowboys and Seahawks. But once again, the Cowboys, I think they're better, and the Seahawks didn't do anything to get better than the Cowboys. And the Cowboys beat them in the playoffs, so I had the Cowboys in there. Man, AFC Championship game. You know the first game of the season is the Bears versus the Packers, right? So guess what my AFC Championship game is?
Whoa.
Packers Part 3. NFL 100th year. Packers and Bears, the longest running rivalry in the NFL.
Oh, conspiracy shot.
NFC Championship. And that bad man who's coming for vengeance will crush the Bears again and gets a Super Bowl. And we had the two best quarterbacks in the NFL, in my opinion, playing against each other in the Super Bowl with Pat Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers had to prove he's the best. Everybody doubted him, so he's going to pull it out and get his second Super Bowl.
I would not be surprised at that. Would not be surprised. I'm actually happy to get the Seahawks. It's not a bad. I think to get the Seahawks is crazy.
Yeah, I'll go next. So I do think the battle for the NFC North is going to be a little closer than everyone is talking about. So, but like the rest of y'all, I do have Green Bay winning that division. The NFC East, I'm going to go with the Cowboys over the Eagles to win the NFC East. Despite what's going on with Zeke, I'm still holding on to my point that he'll be back week 3, and wherever they're at from that point, they're just going to take that to ride it on to the division title. The NFC South, I'm going to roll with the Saints to win the division.
Yeah, so disrespectful.
And for the NFC West, despite what Seattle has done, I don't think the Rams, as you all mentioned earlier, I don't think the Rams have gotten worse since the Super Bowl. So I'm going to roll with the Rams to win that. My two wildcard teams, because they were in the dogfight for the division, and since I went with Dallas to win it, the first wildcard spot will definitely go to the Philadelphia Eagles. And this last one was kind of tough because I was trying to pick between the Bears, the Falcons, Toops Panthers. But I'm actually going to roll with Chicago. I think a lot of people are sleeping on what they actually have. I think if Mitch Trubisky takes that next step this season with the weapons he has on offense with Tariq Cohen, of course, Anthony Miller, shout out to them. Of course, with the defense that they have with Khalil Mack and the rest of that crew. So I'm going to get that second wild card spot to Chicago. The NFC Championship, I have the Packers knocking off the Eagles to get to the Super Bowl. And in the Super Bowl, between the Chiefs and Packers, I think that bad man finally completes his revenge tour, and he wins the Super Bowl.
Did you have both of your wild card teams in the NFC Championship game?
Yep. No, he had the Packers winning the division.
I had the Packers winning the
division. Okay.
Sheedy.
Man, I'm not going to tell you who I got winning the NFC East. So we'll skip down to the South.
I think you should tell us.
Remind the people.
Yeah. yes. That team that plays every Thanksgiving, the Cowboys. I got the Saints winning the South, and I don't believe the Panthers are going to challenge that spot. I believe the Bears will win. Yeah, I looked at your schedule like you asked us to, and maybe 7-9.
Wow.
How do you think of that?
Cool. Cool.
Yep. Cool. And continuing on, the Bears, NFC North. Here I really think the Seahawks win their division. But then of course I think I got the Rams right there as the wild card. The other wild card I have is the Packers, the better of the P teams. And I believe that when you go to the NFC Championship game, yep, I got the Packers and Cowboys. I got the Cowboys winning. We're playing the Chiefs, and we're going to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, wow.
All right.
You're just about as delusional as Tevin is. Just about.
Wow,
Yep.
I'm delusional.
But it's okay.
Well, I mean,
I
far-fetched, really.
I think the Cowboys, Zeke's going to get together by week 2, week 3. That's quote-unquote load management for us. So he sits out maybe 2 games, gets his legs together, and carries us where we need to go when we're comparing schedules. But I hear what you have said, and I know you love Aaron Rodgers. He's a bad man. You want him to be the MVP. I will still stand by my point. I believe someone that's not, well, we're not mentioning right now will be MVP, such as
I agree with
Patrick
that,
Mahomes
absolutely.
last year. Like Patrick Mahomes was not on the radar to win MVP last year before the start of the season, and all of a sudden he won it. So I'm thinking the same thing coming up this year. And a full season with Cooper, off season as well, getting the wide receivers together, and we got Cobb, so I don't think I'm too delusional.
Yeah.
I believe we got things in the right places. We got a solid defense.
Revenge.
Well, the reason I say that you're delusional is because, to quote my boy Stephen A. Smith, what can go wrong will go wrong for the Dallas Cowboys. And the Dallas Cowboys, for all I care, can go 12-4, and they look amazing. But they can host the first round of the divisional playoff, and somehow, some way, they probably won't even score a single point or something like that. And that's typically how the Cowboys work. What can go wrong will go wrong for the Dallas Cowboys, which is why you are delusional. But it's okay.
Can you say that about every team except the Patriots, really?
No.
Honestly.
Nah. You can, but I don't want to.
I know I can say that about the Chargers for sure. The Titans for sure.
You can say that, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the Cowboys? Come on. Give it to me.
I think it's with that quote, it's more so the most like outlandish thing, like the last possible thing that could possibly happen to ruin a season is more likely to happen to the Cowboys. I think that's where that comes from.
It could be Zeke failing the drug test. He's been in Cabo.
Personally, I think the Chargers have more happen to them than the Cowboys over the years. But I see what you did with the revenge. I don't know y'all can't hear me say revenge, but you know the catch, Dez Bryant, that I see what she did.
Yeah.
Cowboys NFC Championship. Yeah, I see what you're doing there.
Yep. I need it. This time it'll be Cooper catching it though. Oh, and 2, with all them, listen. December 22nd, Colts, Panthers. I got Colts winning. I'll bet you whatever you want to do.
Wow.
Oh.
You talking about cash money.
I'm literally about to hang up because my phone's on 3% anyway. Wow. Don't tell me that.
Birthday had Jacoby Brissett for the throw for 300.
You got Jacoby Brissett. Do you not?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the limit? What's the number limit? Because I'm gonna max it out.
Man, 50.
50, bet. You know, it's a lot we gonna be able to do with $50. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be able to do $50. I'm gonna make this stretch. Oh my God, you so disrespectful.
Right?
Can we kick him out?
Can I throw my 10 cents on it, please?
Yeah, real quick.
I believe whatever number y'all want to come up with, y'all are more than welcome to do that. I believe that if the Panthers lose, Kevin should change every advertiser he has on every social media to a Dallas Cowboy player. It should probably be Zeke. And I feel like if the Cowboys lose, then Sheedy should change every advertiser he has on social media to Cam Newton.
So you said against the Cowboys or the Colts?
No, I was against the Colts.
I'm so sorry.
No, he said the Colts. Yeah, he said the Colts.
The Colts. Sorry, that was my fault. The Colts. So you can change it to like Jacoby Brissett.
Jacoby Brissett.
There you go.
Nah, man. Do more. Search the morning, man. Return.
Hold on. And in the bio, you gotta have that team's hashtag.
Gotta make this thing a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm down. Shaking on it.
All right, so we shaking on the fact that we're gonna change our habits, and you got me on $50.
Deposit, Cash App. I got
Cash App. Bet. We shaking. I verbally accept. Make sure we write this in a minute. You saw the Colts. The Colts.
All right, y'all. We got our first let's be real bet on air, but I write it down, mark it, note it, notarize it, whatever we got to do.
Did you go out for mimosas this morning?
It's time to move on.
A little bit stronger.
All right.
Troll or nah.
Is you trolling? Is you trolling? Is you trolling? Is you trolling? Yeah, I might be. Yeah, I might be. Yeah, I might be. Yeah, I might be. Yeah,
I'll go first. And I'm just going to come out and say that I did say I had one about them. Tennessee will win less than 5 games this season.
Not a troll.
Right.
Tennessee.
There's what troll?
The Titans or the Vols?
Yeah.
The Vols.
Oh.
They'll win less than 5 games.
Yeah,
That's not true. Because you already proved the point. You said they're gonna be at 1 point. Y'all are gonna lose 4 in a row.
We won 5-7 last year. And lost to Georgia State the first game. Yeah, that ain't no trouble.
It's not a troll.
And yeah, just to humor y'all. So the next game is against BYU, which could potentially be
That's a loss.
I
actually had us losing that game. For real. So that's before the Georgia State game. That was the schedule start the season.
Yeah. Okay. And then the following week on the 14th is against Chat, so they should win that game, but nothing's guaranteed anymore. So after that, at Florida, home to Georgia,
lost,
home to Mississippi State, and at Alabama. It's 4 losses in a row potentially. So that'll put us at 1-5, 1-6, like I said earlier. So yeah, that's what Tennessee.
What was the win?
Chattanooga.
I hope so.
All right, I'll give you a win by field goal at the last second.
And believe it or not, that's probably how it'll be.
Probably, like. Well, all right, we will wrap up today. Remember, we are powered by the Binge Podcast Network. Remember, also follow our new website, lbrsports901.wixsite.com/real, and you can listen to us on any podcast platform: Google Play, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher. You keep naming them. We're on almost all of them. And we're back again. Well, we had number 49, fellas. So guess what? We got next. The big 5-0.
Big 50.
The big 5-0.
Big. They call me.
All right. So
they call me Big 5-0.
All right, real quick, because we did it last week for the Tigers. Of course, the NFL season starts this week on Thursday. So Packers-Bears. Who y'all taking?
Aaron Rodgers by 14.
Aaron Rodgers in another comeback similar to last year.
I got the Bears by 14.
Bears by 7. I don't know about 14.
Bears by 14. Don't let Stephen A. hype y'all up about Aaron Rodgers.
Well, he hasn't.
I was hyped before he got hyped up by Aaron. I started. He probably got Aaron Rodgers off of me.
Give me Green Bay by field goal.
Yeah, the Bears. Field goal is a good one because Bears kicker. They got a new kicker.
Give me
good point the other day. I know it's preseason for kickers too. Kickers, that's different. They had kicking problems last year, so.
Yeah.
All right. Remember, our fantasy football draft is tomorrow. So good luck to the rest of us outside the draft.
Wow.
Good luck to you guys.
Good luck to Trevor and nobody else. I got you, my brothers.
I hope y'all noticed that. So y'all can notice I put out divisions. I got North Memphis, South Memphis. Those are 2 divisions. And
I love it.
I changed my name from Shark Attack to Shark's Revenge, which means I'm going for my revenge on travel this year for beating me in the championship last year.
Let's all have a great season, fellas. That's all.
Yeah,
whatever, Joe. That's all.
All right, man. See y'all guys later.
All right.
Go Tigers. Happy 901 day.
Happy 901.